Hello and welcome to All For United with me, John Foster, MUFC. Joining me tonight is Natalie. How you doing, Nat?
Hey, John. Doing good. Happy to be here.
Good stuff. We welcome back Rodney. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. And I'm glad to be back on.
Nice one, thank you. And Andy, how you doing, Andy?
Same as I've been doing for the last year or so. No, I'm good, all good.
It all blends into one. Well, I was talking a little bit about last time he was on the show shortly, Andy. It was back in December. So
yeah, it was exciting at that stage, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's about 4 months ago now, roughly 3 or 4 months ago, and a lot of things have happened. But we'll get into that later. This is a match preview show. West Ham on Saturday. Bit of a midday kickoff, a little bit earlier than that, I think. Maybe something like 11:30 kickoff. So we'll be discussing that. But there's also a few topical things to discuss. What's gone on this week as well. So season ticket holders have received emails saying that we can renew on June the 7th. And I could be wrong, but I think you can, even if you're not a season ticket holder, I still think you can buy a season ticket as of June the 7th. So we'll be talking about that. Thank you to everybody tuning in on the comments already. Brilliant. Thank you for joining in. So yeah, and also Preston Heath, that small video that was circulated Twitter that pretty much blown up America and blown up the Man United fan base as well. So we'll just have our little thoughts on that. And also what Sanders managed to get out of Casey today, or that was released today. Some good quotes there regarding the press conference. Me and Natalie on the last show was talking about press conferences and asking the right kind of questions. So we'll just be gauging a few thoughts on that one as well. So plenty to discuss. But Andy, let's start off with yourself for a change. So December the 10th was the last time we were on the show, and the title of that show was called Are We Serious Title Contenders? And that was December the 10th. Just what are your thoughts since then, Andy?
Well, we were optimistic, weren't we?
I think we had reason to be at the time.
Yeah, we did. We'd shown all the signs that we were top of the league. We were there on merit. We couldn't have foreseen the injuries, but despite the injuries, we've underperformed since then. The Chelsea game was the turning point. We were in it. It wasn't, they didn't dominate us as much as you would expect them to. But you could say they put us in our place, and our reaction since that game has shown that it's too early for us. We need more.
Mm-hmm. And that's to see you nodding your head. It was a reaction, wasn't it? There was no reaction.
Yeah, for me, I think it was. You really said it all, Slater, and it was. The Chelsea game, the first one, yeah, you could say it was a similar. They went ahead, they had a lot of chances, but we kept in it at 1-0, and then we got 1-1, and then we held on to the end. This one, we got that 1-1, and you could see the way they celebrated, you could see that mentality switch, but it was just, ball over the top, and it outdone us, and then, it's not in a horrible way, but we haven't really been the same since, and going behind the teams, we've not had that fire to come back like we did versus Chelsea the first one, versus City the first one. It's just sort of like, we're behind now, and that fire is gone. We're not gone completely. You see it sometimes, the build up. But yeah, I think it's like what Slater said, that Chelsea game, and then it's not been the same since.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Rodney, obviously the Man United women have been busy, but you've been busy yourself on your YouTube. You've been getting a few guests on as well. Tell some of the things that you've been doing.
Oh gosh, well, just talking about the WSL, we did a live thing yesterday, and talked a lot about basically one of the topics we're going to talk about later in terms of the Sky deal, but just catching up in terms of what. We as fans have been seeing in terms of the football, and wishing we were back, but just at the same time, I think for me, the one thing I can think about, I know you guys have probably talked about it already, but it's the Arsenal game, So yeah, so that for me is, I mean, it was a pivotal game. I think the last time I was on, we were talking about where Man United might be by that game, and I believe I might have foolishly said that I'd written off Arsenal because they were just a bit flaky. I'd have to probably go back and watch the video, but yeah, it didn't turn out that way. Not to be expected for Man United. But that's that. But in terms of what I'm doing, I'm just trying to enjoy football. I'm trying to engage with as many people as possible, to answer your question.
Well, that's good. And speaking about engaging with many fans as possible, Natalie, we had that email. Was it yesterday or the day before? Regarding renewing the season tickets, which was nice to see. I got excited. I put the reminder in my phone at the start of the week. I think June the 7th is later in the week, so I think on the Monday I put it in my phone. But then I realised to myself, that's still another 3 months away. Anything could happen by then. Chelsea could bottle it in the Champions League by then and get knocked out. Who knows? Anything could happen. But Nat, what are your thoughts on that? Obviously, it's some evolving, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good, and it looks like, Casey sort of said she missed the fans, wish fans were at Old Trafford, and I know we're going to go on to the game later, but, we've not been there all season. That's another thing that I think, if fans were there versus Arsenal, fans were there versus Chelsea, those are the moments. The players have even said it themselves. I heard a thing off Kirsty Hansen. The moments when you need them the most are the moments when you're down, you're losing, it's 1-1 and you need to push you over the edge. Obviously, everyone's missing the fans, for all clubs, but for us, I feel it does feel like that 12th player a lot more, and that's just why obviously, hopefully, everyone when they get the email they want to renew, they renew straight away. For me, I think it's again we're going to break the record for season ticket. I think it's just over 1,000 that we've got, so I can see them hopefully all renewing again, and then more coming back in. A lot of people have already messaged me the minute that thing. People were like, "When can I get it? How can I get it?" Yeah. Ring up the club. Email the club. They've got a new Twitter account for match day. You can send them a text so you can get your tickets then when they come out. But what I want to just say, Jen, and I know we agreed, it's important for everyone to, in my opinion, to join the Barmy Army as well, because it helps the match day experience. Whether you want to stand up and sing or whether you want to sit down, it helps us. And I forgot my shirt. I just pulled the shirt out. I just think, but yeah, John's got
I'm wearing it today. Listen,
it just helps to sort of, when sort of, if you sort of want something, if you think, I'd love us to be in the terrace and standing, but that's your opinion. If you can come to us, join us, the more people with that opinion, we can then put that and say, listen, there's all these season ticket holders, they're members of us as well. And when we go and hopefully, more dialogue with the club, more communication, it's better. The more people, if you get what I mean. Does everyone understand what I mean? The more numbers. So that's Unity just what I want to. Eh?
Unity is power.
That's it. And whether you like I said, you don't have to stand up and sing and be part of be a member. It's it's about that unity, being together. I'm seeing a lot of things about trade unions, and that's how I want all United fans to see us. You might not like everyone in this or whatever. Doesn't matter. We put all opinions, and that matters. And see it like that. That's why it's so important.
So just on that, Nat. So just explain very quickly, Nat, on the things that on the questionnaires that we do and the surveys that go to the FSA, all this kind of stuff. Just quickly brief the guys who actually want to know because it is serious.
Yeah, it is serious. People think, it's just your opinion that's going to go. No. We put out surveys and we put out, we've just done a survey that's gone out to all our members and what they want to see. Do they want to see different things through the account? What do they want to see through, general, like you say, going to the FSA, being part of the FSA is very important. That's unity of the whole clubs. So, FSA surveys that go to our fans, that's then, feeding back up. So, I don't know. Fans matter, yeah? Whether it's you who comes one game or you who's never been a game or me that goes every game, it doesn't matter. I'm the same as everyone. So John's the same as everyone. Rodney's the same as everyone. Andy's the same as everyone. We've all got that one vote. So let's, don't think it's just, it's this group on their own. No. Unity, everyone. Representation. I don't know what I'm saying, but I know what I'm saying. And, hope everyone understands what I'm saying. Message the Barmy Army, MUWFC, and get it done and get on board, and it's really important. It's a quick form and then you're done. That's it. Free. There is an advanced membership if you want to do that, but it's free membership. So, I just want to put that out there and say it's important.
And there are people that's watching that's in the comments that's on our Twitter that I didn't realise has never even been to a game, but they interact with us so much that I just presumed, they was at the game. And people will be watching this right now because I've messaged them personally. As soon as I find out that they're a match-going fan or that they haven't been to a game but they live nearby, I'll be in the messages just saying, something about coming to the grounds. So obviously, when you're in the grounds, please come and see Nat and the rest of us. Andy, I did cut you off there, so I do apologise. I just wanted to Nat just to elaborate on the on her point a little bit more. But go on, Andy.
Where were we? What were we on? Got a bit lost in that speech there.
I think it was just something about the Barmy Army when Natalie was talking about the support that the Barmy Army provides.
Yeah, exactly what she said. I think I just chipped in with unity is power, and that's exactly it. It's, I was a season ticket for Old Trafford for 21 years, and as a fan at that kind of level, you do kind of feel like nobody hears you. And that's eventually what drove me away from going to Old Trafford regular. But then the women came along, I started going, and it is a bigger voice because it's so much smaller. So it's a smaller scale. The voice is a lot louder. And if you aim for something big and get something small, you've still got something. You've still made a difference.
100%, yeah, absolutely. Rodney, I know you go to many matches, not just United matches. You represent the Championship, and maybe do you go into any matches lower down in the Championship, or is it mainly just the Championship and WSL?
Yeah, at the moment it's just I haven't got the time to go anywhere else. It's just been the Championship and WSL. To be honest, I haven't been to that many WSL games this year, and that's honestly I just haven't. I mean, I was due to go to one. And I think my car broke down, so that was not great. But I've been to more Championship games this year. But on the season ticket thing, I mean, I had my email, and I'm, there's a bit of me that thinks, am I going to renew? I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure because I'm doing so much at the weekends. I don't know how I'm going to fit things in. I want to go to as many games as possible, and so I know that to get to the LSV, particularly with the new deal, kickoff times will be even more problematic. So I'm sure we're going to talk about that. So it's you're going to have to really kind of plan your weekend carefully. So in terms of next season, I will definitely be following Manchester United women. On whatever platform they're on, but I'm not sure I'm going to get to a game unless they're playing away, and I can get there. But sorry,
playing in London, maybe.
I don't know. Just in terms of what I'm trying to do myself, I'm trying to get to as many games as possible and just spread what I can in terms of the word of the game and just enjoy football on a wider scale. But in terms of Man United, I want to watch them, but I'm not going to be able. I won't pigeonhole myself basically to say I'm only going to watch them next season. So I probably won't be renewing my season ticket for the men's, let alone for the women's. But I'll be honest with you. I'm from London, so I had a good 30 years where I didn't even have a season ticket. I was always watching it on TV, so it's not new. I'm just reverting back to the child that I was. And listening on the radio, watching teletext.
At least teletext was the one. At least your Sky TV. Hopefully, if you do start watching it on TV instead of the FA player, you'll hopefully get a bit more better coverage.
a better TV angle.
Yeah, absolutely.
As opposed to being filmed on your mobile phone.
Quite a few people in the comments, so thank you very much. John Fry shouted out that he's a Barmy Army member. I know you are. Thank you, John. Vicky saying that it's her birthday, I think it was, on the day that you can actually renew, so it's a bit of a sign. So that's all good. That's all good. Yeah, lovely. We want to talk a little bit about this Preston Heath video that was spiraling around social media. Nat, if you just start us off with what the video consisted of. and then we'll have a little discussion about it and have a little play in the comments about what the people in the comments actually think of the video, what it was all about. So we'll have Natalie, you set the scene first.
So what it is, Preston Heath, everyone knows the great players for us, and they've got their own business called Re-Inc, and actually it's got its own little, say, like forum, and they do merchandise, and Toby made a big painting the other day that sold for 10 grand, and it was about coding, so 010101, and there was a 7 at the end, so like 17, Tobin's number, and 17% of it is going to black children in America, and they're very big on activism. And if you ever watch mindfulness and all that kind of stuff, it's not really me. Activism is, but mindfulness, yoga, all that, it's not me. And paintings and art is not me. But obviously people like it, and that's good for them. That's what they like. So they've got Re-Inc, and it's up and it's good. Go and check it out. As part of Re-Inc, they have these sliders, and Tobin and Kristen, as part of Re-Inc, gifted the whole Man United squad a pair of sliders. So I think it was, what day was it, John? It was Tuesday or something, or Wednesday. And suddenly everyone's posting on, I think it's Tuesday it was, everyone's posting on Instagram. Millie started, Suni posted, Leslie posted, thanks Tobin and Kristen, Re-Inc. Amy T was the last one to post just yesterday, I think, or just today, like of her in her socks and sliders. And people were messaging. I saw someone message Honor saying, "Don't put socks. You can't wear socks and sliders," and all these kind of funniness. So the whole team got it, and people were making threads and going off. But I just think it is a nice gesture. But I understand also why people started thinking, why have you done it? Why have you done it? What is it? Is it, people have started saying, is it leaving presents? But I suppose it's a bit too early to do that. And then other people are showing how comfortable they are, how much they love this team, and never gifted it to any other teammates. So there's a few people maybe in the US Women national team who are close to them like that. But to gift it to the whole team, it's not a little thing. And I mean, people are saying, "Oh, it's just commercial," because everyone's looking at United. They're just doing it commercial. I'm not that cynical either. I don't know, and I suppose that's why everyone's talking about why. And I think because we're waiting on the contract renewals, everything's getting dissected. Little minute we're looking. So my first thought is it a leaving present? Then other people are thinking this, and other people are thinking this. I just think it's a nice gesture, I suppose, and it just shows that they love this team, and we're together, we're one, we're united.
Did you want to jump in there, Rodney?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I'm listening to Nat talk about it, and I kind of, because I missed the whole thing. I missed that whole social media tsunami. It sounds like a good gesture. That's what it sounds like. You have two successful, and I'd say not even footballers, they're business women who have their own business and say, you know what, with a group of people, we appreciate, because you've got to remember, they've come over here from where they are familiar to somewhere where they're thinking, where the hell is Manchester? Where the hell, what? There were problems with washing machines, because they're like thinking, what's this front-loading business? So they've been helped in no end. So the gesture, it's not a big gesture, but it's a gesture from them. Obviously, it's blown up on social media. I don't know whether it's a leaving gift. I wouldn't say that. I would probably say it's a nice gesture from them to say thank you for all the help that you've offered us. And yeah, it could be a bit cynical for some to say that it's linked to Manchester United, because Manchester United are always big news, but they're World Cup winners. They're big news in their own right. So I don't know what to really make about that story, other than two people who have been generous to their teammates and said, we have something for you. I wouldn't get too worried about it.
I think
anyway.
It's Twitter being Twitter, and it's Man United fans being Man United fans, reading into absolutely everything.
Yeah, like Sherlock Holmes.
Got to do that digging. Got to do it. Where's my magnifying glass? What's going on here? Sign the deal. Yeah.
That's it. Well, Andy, what we all thought when that message was when that video was going around, because everyone was talking about it, and everyone's first instinct was what Natalie mentioned. Could it be a leaving present? Could it be a leaving present? And then a lot of people were saying, oh, maybe they're just promoting. And now that we've had time to think about it and let it settle in, and the nerves have kind of relaxed us a little bit, I think people are leaning a bit more towards it's just a genuine gift. And what were your first thoughts, and maybe your thoughts now?
Well, you've had two opinions that it's just a generous gift. So I'll play devil's advocate and say let's look a bit deeper. I'm not one to read into things too much, but it's enjoyable to analyse. So let's analyse it. It's easy to think it's a leaving gift, but come on, that's as a leaving gift, that's a bit lame. Come on. Thanks for the memories. Here's some flip flop. So let's leave that one alone for now. Let's say it was a genuine gift. It's got their brand on it. If they find that brand does go far and wide just because of some simple, generous gift they've given, maybe that would be enough to make them think another year here would be good. Not just for football, not just for trying to achieve what they hope to achieve this season, but they've got to think about beyond football, after football. And if they think, actually, that could have been a marketing trick, we should have thought of that. That might even just be enough to make them think, let's stick around. This could be good for us long term. Could be good for the football. Could be good long term. So there's a slightly different angle. It might not have meant to be promotion, but it is. It is promotion, whether they meant it or not.
Yeah. Go on.
You know what, Slater? You just made me think now. I'm gonna go buy me some. Just.
If you're watching, if you're watching, you've just sold a pair.
I'm gonna go get me some, because you know what? That is actually. If it means that they're gonna say, "I'll buy everything," yeah, I'll buy everything. Everyone in this video, go buy a pair, yeah.
I'll give my opinion. I do think it was a present, but I do think that it was clever in what they've done. So, as Andy said, they could have bought anything, but it had their name on there. So I think it was a bit more behind that. They knew full well it was going to go viral, this, that, and the other. I don't think the fact that everyone took a video of it as well, so it's like almost as if it was a little bit scripted, maybe. Looking at a bad thing, I don't think it's a leaving present, so I've seen it as a good thing. And I'm looking forward to next week's show when Natalie's wearing those flip-flops.
Yeah, man. I'll promote them. Yeah, come on, buy it and sign, make them sign the thing.
Lucas is in the comments just asking this game, do we see a game at Old Trafford next season, and what game would you like to see, or would you like it to be? I would like it to be City, if I'm honest, not just because it's a big game, but it's the reverse of when we went to the Etihad. So we went to their ground, lost 1-0. We I wouldn't say that we outsang them, but it was, considering they had like a load more fans than us, I think we did a good job there, and I think we could help hold our head high there. So I would like to see us take on City at Old Trafford. Natalie, what's your thoughts on that one? What would you like to say on that one?
Bang on, yeah, City at Old Trafford. I think I know we're going to come on to it, but I think with the Sky deal and, the big games, that's what they want to see. I think they want to see these big games, the derby games, title races being played at these stadiums. And, we saw them put the derby on Friday night. We saw them put Arsenal on Friday night. So I can definitely see it being something like Friday night football, Manchester derby. Yeah. Get your beers. I just heard a beer click. Get your beers. Get the place rocking. I can definitely see them doing it. And it's simple. A Friday night game is good. Wherever, if it's in Manchester, if it's local, it's good, isn't it? So, I'd be happy for that.
Absolutely, yeah. You got preference, Andy?
For the occasion, City is the derby, but I think that 12th player, as Nat said earlier, I think you've got to put that against Chelsea if you get the chance.
I bet one of the other big ones, Rodney. Would you like to see us take on the champions Chelsea at Old Trafford just to see if it would make a difference? Or
yeah, and I was going to go with Andy and say, Chelsea. I know it's all everyone says, "Oh, City," but I just think Chelsea from what we've seen of them and the array of players that they have, you would want that fixture to be at a venue where you have the loudest support ever in your corner. So for me, it would be definitely a Chelsea. City, to be honest, I watched enough of that derby for now. I want to see something. I'd like to see Man United take on another team in a big setting to just see how it goes. And also there'd be a little bit of jealousy as well, knowing what kind of fixture or attention that would draw if it were a Man United or a Chelsea or another team, and Man City look across and go, that should have been us, really. Getting a little bit of that glory and that limelight. So yeah, Chelsea for me.
Two cities, Chelsea. Either way, that would be a fantastic experience, wouldn't it? Because they both tell a story, don't they? So the build-up will be great. Maybe next season, maybe. Talking about next season then, Rodney, stick with yourself regarding Sky. Obviously, you speak to a lot of people away from United, away from WSL. We know a lot of pros to it. In the last few days, we've heard a lot of cons to it. There's a few obstacles to overcome. There's going to be a few teething problems, this, that, and the other. All in all, what are your thoughts regarding that?
You mean in terms of the actual razzmatazz of the deal?
Yeah.
My glass is half full. I know that there have been a lot of people doing somersaults on social media about it's going to be a game changer and it's going to inspire the next generation. And I will kind of repeat what I said yesterday, because it's Sky and BBC, technically, the deal. Everyone's talking about Sky and about the games being played. But what I want to get from my point of view is that with the BBC, they had the games before and they buried the games on BBC iPlayer. It's not as if the games weren't available. They had them, they buried them. And I saw a question or a comment on Twitter from a journalist, and he said it was a good deal. And I thought, well, the WSL don't have any money. They didn't negotiate the deal with the BBC, but the BBC took the games and put them on iPlayer. Now that Sky are involved, BBC have come out and they're dancing around saying, yes, we're going to show games. They could have shown games before. There was nothing wrong with them showing games before. Does anyone know why BBC didn't show games on BBC Two? Considering we've all been trapped inside for 14 months, they could have showed games. So when I say half full, great from a Sky point of view, yes, I get it. But from a BBC national broadcaster point of view, I'm not even going to swear on your channel, but it's not great. Do you know what I mean? So when people talk about, they're promoting the game, people have moved when it suited them. So when fans, like the Bayern Army fans, wanted to watch games and they had, and I'll use the word advisedly, shit access on the FA player, and it could have been on BBC, that's on the BBC. So that's why I say, do you understand why I'm actually dissecting the deal? I'm not saying it's a bad deal. I'm saying that one of the broadcasters actually had the games already and did nothing with it. So from a Sky point of view, great. I'm sure it's going to be great. But from a BBC point of view, you did nothing for us. Fans, you did nothing for us, so you don't get credit. So when the new season starts, I will see what, the lay of the land is, and then I will add my little 2 pence worth there. But I think there are so many things that will become clearer in terms of what isn't right. And the other thing that I want to add, in terms of the disparity between, as I go to championship games, and the WSL. One of the lines in the Guardian, I think it was the Guardian article, which said that the financial kind of the way it was going to be divvied up was be on merit. I mean, what does that mean? Most of the teams in the championship, the players work full-time jobs. I know full well, like London Bees goalkeeper, she lives in Norwich. She drives from there to go and play London Bees, and they had an away game and they were going to play Bristol. So imagine trying to negotiate with your employer what you needed to do to go and play football and an evening kickoff, and then come back and then drive from North London home. You know, that's the realities of the football. So when we talk about a 75-25 split, all they've done is mirror the inequalities of the Premier League and the Championship. If they'd have said, we're going to give the WSL clubs 60% and give the Championship 40%, I would have looked at that and thought, yeah, women's football are doing it in a very different way. But all they've done is mirror the inequalities that are in the men's game. And in 4 months' time, everyone will start to moan and say they should have done it something different. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying now. I must say, I'm not trying to be problematic, but that's just how I look at it.
Ron, I haven't heard that side of it. I mean, I've spoken to a few people this week on Twitter and on YouTube, and a few knowledgeable people, but no one actually mentioned that side of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely worth mentioning, and there's a couple of people in the comments who've enjoyed hearing that as well, or not enjoyed it, but respected that opinion. Nat, do you want to jump in there before I go on to Andy's thoughts on what Ronnie said?
The only thing I know, apparently, this is what I've been told from a journalist.
You know that, and that's got the juice.
I don't know anything. The only thing I know is apparently when they first negotiated the deal that they've got now with BT, etc., etc. And I don't know whether this is just a cop out, but apparently BBC were only given digital rights or something. So that meant it had to go on the iPlayer. It meant it had to go on the red button. That could be a cop-out. Like I said, I don't know. I just heard that that's what it is. I've heard all they put behind it was production cost. Now, obviously, I don't know what they're paying, but someone must be paying something. Obviously, Sky are paying the majority of it. It's $7 million a year. Sky are obviously paying the majority of it. But I mean, I've heard talks. I've seen people in the chat. I've heard talks now that potentially, with this money coming down, and I know it's only 25%, but and I know sort of I've heard Stu from Since 71 sort of said there's talk now that potentially the Championship might be going professional. I know a lot of clubs have like this hybrid professional. I don't know how much they get. I've heard one club might be getting about 100 quid, you know, a week or something. That's not enough, obviously, to live on. And even in the WSL, they don't make. There's clubs that are making not in 10 grand a year. That's what I've heard. You know, there's
a player per player.
Yeah.
Nice. That's not. I'll be honest with you. That's not professional.
There's we're thinking Man United. You know, this is obviously a Man United show, but there are, and I'm sure I'm not saying I don't know who it is because I've heard it from different clubs and all this kind of stuff. But you know, that was a while ago when I heard that. But I've heard it might be like 20 grand now. I don't know, but 20 grand is a bit more reasonable. But you know, Championship, I'm hearing that might go professional. I'm hearing good things about referees because obviously if you're bringing Sky in, right, you're not going to see this kind of waterlog pitch game off 4 times in a row.
You know what?
You know what I'm saying? They're not going to pay for that.
What day is this? Let me write that down.
Write it down, mate, because Sky ain't going to. You know, they're paying because they want to see quality. I'm not saying that there's not going to be any, but look at that Arsenal Aston Villa game. It got postponed 4 times. 4 times. You're taking the mick. You know, we played Everton, and they sort of said we ain't got coronavirus cases. We're ready to play in the morning, but in the evening the game was off. So I don't think these things are going to slide as much. I know Jack was sort of talking about it, but I don't think it's going to slide as much. I tell anyone that wants to know why I'm here. I heard this on the Offside Rule podcast. So go and check it out. Kate Borsay, Lindsay Hooper, they spoke to her name, Kelly Simmons, who's the head of the professional game. And these are the things that she's saying. You know, I read Katie Wyatt's article. She said that things like that ain't going to slide. So the head of women's game, and let's just say, because they've brought this deal now, and they're saying that there's going to be things up for pitches to make sure games go ahead. And there's going to be something soon that they're going to announce about referees. So I'd suggest, I know, like, I don't want anyone to go away and listen to it now. Stick with us, stick a like on this, but go and listen to the Offside Rule because that's where I've heard it. And like I said, Kelly Simmons said a lot of things that made me hopeful for the future of women's football. And that was championship going professional, doing something with referees and improving pitches. Because those are the things that are going to hold it back, really, I think. They're holding it back a bit now. And so if they're saying we're going to improve these things, which they need to, then, yeah, I can only see onwards and upwards. But maybe I'm being too optimistic and listening to it and that kind of thing. I don't know.
I think that'll be like a contingency plan there more than anything. I think Sky will just turn around and say, look, if the pitch can't be played on, it can't be played on. But they can turn around and say, okay, so what are you going to do to make sure that this doesn't happen again? What's your contingency plan? And actually pushing it that way, as opposed to in the past, we'll play it 3 months down the line, it doesn't matter. Well, now all of a sudden it does start to matter a bit more, doesn't it? So I think, and that might not be the first season, that, it's a 3-year deal. It might take a bit of time to get those contingency plans, but it might be something to do with that. And I want to get your thoughts on the Sky deal. What was your initial thoughts? I don't think it was any surprise because the rumor was going around for quite a while. But was you kind of happy as a United fan to get to see your team on Sky if you don't go to the matches?
Yeah, I think the first announcement, you think it's good news. It's money coming into the game. It's more exposure for the game. It's good news, but it's got to be managed right afterwards. It's no use saying here's 7-8 million quid. Brilliant. Let's grow the game. How do you grow the game? What does growth look like? Does it mean there's more fans watching it? Does it mean there are more players at the level that you want to see players at? Is it more clubs at the top level? Because we've got, 12 WSL teams. People talk about the Premier League being 20 and it's maybe too many. We want 18. 12, that's not enough for a top league. You want a bigger league than that. But then if you do that now, you reduce the championship. You bring teams up that are, aren't even part-time coming up to that. So you need to create that space for clubs to sustain themselves with professional players. For clubs that, people talked about United being parachuted into not the top, but near the top. But if you've got a club that wants to put an academy in place, put a first team in place and provide those places for players to play in, you've got 11 more slots every week for a top player to get some experience, to get some match fitness, to train properly. That's what you need to see. And that's what decides whether it's a good thing or not. It's not that the money's there, it's how it's used afterwards. Because that's what you need.
I think that's
you need the support and the infrastructure in place. Who's responsible for that? Who's competent enough to make sure that works for the game and for the players in it and for the fans that watch it? It's a good thing to start, but where does it go?
Do you want to have the last word on this one, Rodney, before we move on?
No, I think, both Andy and Nat have made really good points. And I think Nat mentioned about the referees. I'm sure there was an article about 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago, where the FA came out and said they've got no plans for the referees, not for another 3 years. And, when you think about the FA and this deal with Sky, they made that announcement knowing they were dealing with selling the rights for women's football.
I said that.
You understand? So I'm like thinking to myself, you got the right hand and the left hand not knowing. It's like 2 separate entities. So the FA saying we're not doing anything with referees for the next 3 years, and Sky coming along saying we've got to deal with you for the next 3 years. You think pitches are going to be the only problem? That's, you know what? You're going to have great fixtures, but someone's going to start moaning at referees. And you can't moan at the ref because the FA, who are the governing body, have said clearly, we're not doing anything for 3 years. It's not in our plans. So any referee that goes out on the pitch, please, they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart because they've been told your professional development, we're putting it on hold for 3 years. So you're just going to have to deal with what you've got. So when Andy says use the money wisely, straight away you're now looking at money that should go to the clubs that are going to the referees when that should have been the FA's job. So follow the money.
Follow the money, but we're going to follow the money. We're going to follow the players to Old Trafford. That's what we're going to do. So 2 days' time, our women's team are playing at Old Trafford for the first time. What are they going to be thinking about here, Natalie? So obviously,
flip-flops.
never played there before. Obviously, huge occasion. We've seen some photos. Who was it? Was it Lucy Stan who took a photo outside Old Trafford the other day? Put it on social media. Great to see. Yeah, look, it's an experience of a lifetime. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter if you're a male or female or what club you play for. If you play at Old Trafford, it's going to be an experience. No fans there, but either way, they're going to be nervous, aren't they, Nas?
Yeah, and she's come out today, Casey, and said about it's not on telly and she's disappointed, and the FA only let you show 3 games on MUTV, and it's Rodney actually described the FA player, SHIT. Let's not.
Apologies.
But what I will say is, she did sort of say it, and that's what I've been thinking. It's like a build-up. It's like they're playing this game against West Ham. They should win. Who knows nowadays? But it's against bottom of the league. They should win. It's sort of one of them, like, let's get used to it. Maybe let's get used to playing here. Bigger pitch. I think I've spoke about it on the channel. It's a bigger pitch. It's going to be different from LSV. Change room, where you come in, where you go out. So for me, I think let's get used to this, so that when we do play a Chelsea or a City and there are fans there, you know what you're dealing with. You know what kind of pitch it is. It can be sort of maybe daunting if you go on a new pitch and then, there's loads of more fans there than what you used to, or it's, it's the loudest it's ever been, and you don't know where, like, your mum and dad are usually sit, or, things like that. So you're thinking, instead of having all those things in your head, you're just thinking, well, I played here before, so I know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Rather than thinking, I've never played here before. Plus, I don't know where my mum and dad is. Plus, I don't know. It's so loud, I can't hear myself. You know what I'm saying? There is at least it takes that one worry away when they do play with fans. Obviously, everyone wants to be there. It is disappointing. People are saying, "Oh, don't be negative," but you can't take away the fact that people are disappointed that it's on now, and like even Casey's disappointed. There's no telly. You would have wanted a nice build up and all that. I mean, MUTV would have milked it. I've seen the main Instagram account have just retweeted an interview that Casey's done on the side of the pitch at Old Trafford. So, that build up, that's what you want. It's unfortunate we not got it. I don't know who's short-sighted. I don't know if she said someone's short-sighted, but I think it's a bit of everyone is. FA needs to sort of... I know that the Sky deals come in, but why not let United show... Why not let anyone show? Why is this the rule there? It makes no sense to me, that rule. Just for it to be on the FA player. It can be on the FA player and be on MUTV. But it is what it is. We'll just have to get on with it. It's a pitch where we're going to play 90 minutes. And to be honest, the most important thing is getting the win. So,
yeah, our Chelsea friend in the comments said exactly the same thing. Do not lose. Vicky's on about LJ and Hansen being excited for the game. If we get a chance, we'll talk about our predicted starting 11 towards the end of the show. But Andy, just to finish up with yourself on this subject. Natalie touched on almost it being like a bit of a practice for the players, in the sense of never played there before. So when we do play there in front of fans, then obviously they'll kind of know what's going on. Do you kind of see that being the potential reason why they're doing it with their fans?
Yeah, the familiarity is always good. But whatever you're doing, if you've done it before, you're a little bit more comfortable. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be a positive for United players in future. For this game in particular, it's exciting for them. It's an occasion, but it's an exciting occasion for the West Ham players as well. Any boost that United players get from playing at Old Trafford, West Ham players are getting the same thing. You've still got to look at the game at hand and look at where we are in the league after the loss to Arsenal. And the result is the most important thing. You've got to, if you need the venue to put to the players as motivation, do it. If you can use it for that, great. They will be. West Ham players will be thinking that. They'll be thinking, it'd be great to go and beat them at LSB. What about beating them at Old Trafford? How good would that be? We get to play at Old Trafford too. So, yeah, the first thing you've got to look at is the match and how important the match is. For any chance that we've got to get in top 3, the result is the most important, regardless of where it is. If you can use the occasion and the venue to motivate a bit more, do it. Everything else will come afterwards. The experience, the comments are saying the pitch to potential new signings, great. But if you lose this match, all that becomes a secondary thing. If we lose this match and it slips us below Arsenal, all the others are good for the future, but you've completely missed the point if that happens.
So going into this match, obviously Casey's been speaking today or yesterday, but it's come out today. So I just want to read a quote and a couple of quotes that me and Nat are, well, me personally, I'm happy about the questions that's been asked because in the last couple of 3 days, we have been kind of shouting for the right questions to be asked in press conferences. At least then we kind of know Casey's kind of thought into her starting 11 in this case. So I'm just going to try and get it up on my phone, it just right here. There we go. So Emma Sanders, if you don't follow Emma, please do on Twitter. She is really good. EM_Sandy. And basically, she asked Casey Stoney if she's got a settled midfield three yet. Now, this is a great question for us because all the talking points after the Arsenal game was, why didn't Hayley Ladd start? That's pretty much it. A lot of fans thought that maybe Casey made a mistake on that. So Emma's come straight out here and kind of asked that kind of question really in a roundabout way. And Casey's comments was, I think it's something I need to develop because obviously I have a certain midfield that, if I'm honest, it depends on form. Some players are on form at certain times, some haven't been. So just on that one, Nat, do you want to kick us off on that? First of all, what did you think of the question? And two, what did you think of the answer?
Is without M at a press conference, it's not the same, and that's not a slight on anyone, but I think she just does go out there and I mean, we said it to Stu before, didn't we? You know, she interacts with the fans, she wants to know what we want to know, so she'll go and let you know. You know, this is the most I'm bigging up a Scouser on a United channel, but listen, she is top quality, and that's why I say, you know, she's the one that you should go and follow because she, to me, is one of the best out there. So I'm glad that she asked it because, like you say, everyone wanted to know. But for me, I think the answer, and then the second part of the answer, she sort of, I wasn't convinced on it. That's all I'll say. You know, people on form, for me, Katie's not really on form. You could say maybe. And I see, like at the start of that Chelsea game, I don't think Hayley Ladd had a great game. So then, yeah, okay, Katie came in. Katie was better versus Everton. But I can see why people are asking for Hayley Ladd. I think Hayley Ladd and Jackie have been our standout midfield this season, alongside, you know, a 10, whether that's Tooney or Stanley. I think, yeah, you can swap the 10, but I think a big game like Arsenal, you know, I would have gone back to that, but I'm not the manager. The manager made her choice, and, you know, now people are judging her on that, and, you know, that's what people are going to do. And, yeah, just good. It's good to hear what Rodney thinks on the questions and on the answer of form. And would he have played Ladd versus Arsenal?
That's what I was going to ask.
Every day. Hayley, you know, look, listen. Hayley Ladd is the first name on the sheet for me. For me, she'd have to literally be on crutches and in a sick bed before I say you can't play. Bottom line, people, I look at, for some reason, I'm drawn to her. She doesn't get the praise that other players get. She doesn't get the social media hype, but she does a very effective and important job. She protects that back four, and when she's not there, it's just not the same. And I'm not saying that players that can't do the role, but she does it. I mean, you could go for a game and you not necessarily mention her, but you mention her. You know, she's one of those. She's ever present. She's always, when you think, oh, someone's going to get past, and she's there. How she differs between her and Jackie is that Jackie, you see Jackie all the time. She's moving. Hayley, she could literally tiptoe up to you and you wouldn't know she's coming until she's taken the ball away from you. That's the kind of player I like. You think you're getting away, and all of a sudden she goes, not today. Not today. You're not getting where you thought you was going to, you're not getting. And that's why, personally, I was surprised to see her not start. Obviously, if she's injured, okay. But I'm looking at the quotes now. I'm actually looking on Twitter now, and I'm seeing the quotes, and I'm like thinking, your March and you don't have a settled midfield. Okay, so what does that say about the players that are there or the system that you have? That was a key game to not start her.
Yeah, it was, and it's obviously looked now it's going to be a mistake because obviously we lost the match. But what I like more than anything on that is the fact that at least we know why she chose, and she's basically saying, now rightly or wrongly so, she's saying that she chose 3 players that's in form, so that's her reason for that. Now whether or not it's the right answer or what, that's kind of her opinion, and that's kind of how she done that. Go on, that.
It's like what Stu says. He says maybe there's a better way to ask it. And I think I would have straight out said, why didn't Hayley Ladd play? Like that, boom. But you can't say it like that. So I think Emma's gone and said it in a nice way, got an answer.
Yeah.
But we don't like the answer. But at least we got the answer. And I think it is good because we got the answer. I don't like it. Like what Rodney says, I agree what he's saying. It's March, There's a little something else that I want to say about that, but I'm going to leave that for another day maybe. But I don't like the answer, but I'll take the answer because, we weren't getting answers before. So at least it's progress.
Yeah. It still creates another debate because the question now is, well, is Hayley Ladd more informed than, say, Katie Zellum? So there's always another debate to be had, but at least now we know why Katie's made that decision, which is great for me because this is what we've been calling out for the past week. There is one more quote on here that I'll bring Andy in. So, she went on to say, Casey, I'll pick players who are in form and can impact the games in terms of whether we're on the ball or not. Versus Arsenal, there was a real desire to dominate the ball a little more, hence why I picked that team. Did we dominate the ball more? Yes. It was the final third where we lacked. Now, this is probably where I'm the opposite to Casey on this one, so I'll defend Casey a lot, probably more than most, and I'll even defend him on that first quote. To me, I don't think we did dominate that midfield. I think the left wing in the first half, I thought Lauren James played really well. And I thought, if we was going to get that goal, potentially we could have got it there. But to me, I don't think we won that midfield battle. But that's just my way of looking at it. And do you see it differently? Or does anybody in the comments see it differently?
I think out of those 3 midfielders, I think Katie Zellum's the one that you want to be getting in the final third. So if that's where we lost the ball, then Katie didn't do a job. If you want to dominate midfield, you've got to stop them from playing first, and that's what Hayley Ladd does.
Yeah.
And for me, you look at what each team needed from the game. If we would have needed the win instead of a draw suiting us, go with Katie Zellum because you want to attack, you want to get forward, you want some creativity. But I don't like ever playing for a draw. But when a draw will do, the first thing you do is shut them out, grow into the game from there. Don't let them attack as much as they did. Don't give them the freedom. Don't give them some nice passing midfielders to play against. Give them somebody who's going to slow them down, who's going to stop them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for what the game needed for each team, you want to stop them first and build from there. When I saw the team, I didn't think I would have preferred Hayley Ladd to play, but I did look back to Zellum's recent goal and thought, is she confident? She's attacking the other team. If you're attacking, you're not defending. You don't need to worry about it. So I did think when I saw the team, I thought it's not what I'd have picked, but okay. But in hindsight, it wasn't okay, was it? Obviously not. So yeah, I think if you've got a form player who does a different job than you need doing, doesn't matter how good they are at what they do, if you need something else doing. And what Hayley Ladd does is what we needed against Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to add on that just a tiny bit. I think we did dominate the ball because if you look at it, Arsenal had 40% possession, we had 60%. So yeah, we dominated, but what did we do? Nothing. And yes, you can then say, oh, but that's what I mean. That's what I'm trying to say. But
yeah, I know.
For me, it's not good enough that you do that. I'd rather have the 40% possession and win 2-0. And, it's all right passing, making a sideways pass.
Yeah.
And then you can't think. And I've seen someone say, Hayley Ladd, yes, she's a DM and all this. And yeah, Zellum might be able to play more long ball, whatever. Great. Hayley Ladd's our top assist. It's not for nothing, is it? Not for nothing. And yeah, for me, I think she should have reverted. I get, Zellum just scored that goal, so maybe that's why. But I think I would have reverted back to what's got you to where you are then, and it's Jackie and Lad that have got you there. So, people saying stats deceiving. Yeah, it is, and I just think, I don't know, just to say that word dominate, we didn't dominate. You know what I'm saying? Stats, we dominated. But I don't like when they say that kind of thing.
Don't forget the second half.
I didn't like any of it, yeah? It was a good question from M. That's the only thing I liked.
Don't forget, there was down to 10 players as well for...
I know, don't even start. Yeah.
Time. Anyway, I'm conscious of time. I know Ronnie's got appointments, so I do just want to kind of get a score prediction from everyone. But in the comments, while we're waiting, going back to Preston Heath, because I did forget to mention it. So Preston Heath regarding the flip-flops. Answer A, was it a leaving present? Put B in the comments if you think it was just a genuine gift, them just being nice. Or C, if it was a promotional stunt. Put A, B or C. So A, leaving present, B, a genuine gift, and C, a publicity stunt. Just stick it in the comments and we'll get some score predictions off the guys now. Do you want to start off with yourself, Andy?
I've been looking for a reaction since the Chelsea game. This is where it's going to come. And even this should be a conservative, but I don't think it is. 4-0.
Okay. I love that. I would love that.
I'm looking up.
Look, the LJ and Hansen got mentioned in the comments. It's a bigger pitch. LJ will have more space. So if you just give her that half second and half a yard, she'll do something. Hansen didn't start in the last match, I don't think, did she? If I remember correctly, no, she didn't. So I think she's due a game. She can run at players with space. So I'll go for 3-0, Andy. 1-0 yourself?
I'm going to go for the draw. For the simple reason, I am. It was already mentioned about West Ham will want to do something on this pitch. They will. And they're in a down at the bottom is very difficult right now. And West Ham will go into this game thinking they've got absolutely nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're going to go in there thinking that we'll do whatever we want. Manchester United will actually have to think, we need to win this game. We need to win this game. So bigger pitch, more space for both teams. And I would expect this game to see substitutes being used more frequently and earlier than I have in any other game because of the size of the pitch. Because you're going to ask players to run. This is a possession-based game that we're looking at. It's not just about using the wings and expecting people to run forever. Not on that pitch if you've not played on it before. It's going to be difficult. So yeah, I'm going for a draw, and then when Manchester United win, I will feel happy with myself.
Okay, well, you're kind of edging your bet there. So you win either way, don't you? It's like when you go to Ladbrokes and bet on the opposite team. You'll win either way. You'll either win money or you'll be happy that your team's won.
Yeah.
Natalie, let's end the show with yourself. Score prediction, mate?
3-1, Man United.
Go on it.
Thanks to everybody in the comments. Really do appreciate you joining in. Please hit the thumbs up if you've enjoyed this show. Let's hope that we get some good results on Saturday. Everyone's social media. Andy, if people want to try and find you on Twitter, how can they do that?
Yep. It's on the screen, Slater7, SL8R7 on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, but I've no idea what I'm doing, so don't bother on there.
Sounds like me.
At least you've got an Instagram. Rodney, yourself, mate?
Yeah, it's likewise. It's at Rodney_Cyrus, and yeah, I'm there.
Lovely. Natalie, yourself?
Natalie_17, and yeah, go, like I said at the start of the show, go and become a Barmy member. Follow them, Barmy MUWFC. Send a DM anywhere on social media. We've got Twitter, we've got Instagram, we've got YouTube. Just send a message, say you want to become a member, get that form over, bang. Yeah, let's get it done. Strength in unity, strength, all that kind of stuff. I should be a politician.
Thank you, Natalie. And you can find me on Twitter, John Foster MUFC. We've got the match preview show on Saturday. That's about 10:45 for half an hour live on Twitter. We'll have a half-time analysis at half-time. We'll have the Ben and Matt show on Saturday, as it is every Saturday. And then we'll have the match reaction show on the Monday. So loads of content for you guys to keep tuning into. And on that note, we're going to tune off. Thank you again to Rondi and Andy joining me and Nat. And see you guys soon.